To all the non-believers, I'm making.
What's up, y'all? This is Jay Varsity. I know it's been a minute. This is episode 70 of NBA Talk. Whew. We got a lot of stuff to talk about today because I wanted to wait till Kawhi made his decision in free agency and let free agency play out a little bit so I could go over some of the signings and all that. But man, bro, I know it's early, but this is a Christmas present if you're a basketball fan. This is a Christmas present if you're a basketball fan because the NBA is wide open, and you're not going to have an overly powered team like we've suffered through in the past 3 years. Like, I just can't believe this is actually real. This feels like fantasy basketball right now. It really does. It feels like fantasy basketball. It's like this is a dream season that's about to happen this year because I legit can't tell you who's going to win the championship. I legit can't tell you because it's just unbelievable. This is the year of dynamic duos. So, without further ado, let's start with the most shocking one that we're talking about as of right now. Let's talk about the Los Angeles Clippers. As we all know, unless you've been under a rock, the Los Angeles Clippers won the Kawhi sweepstakes, and they managed to get Kawhi Leonard and managed to pull off a blockbuster deal for Paul George. I think the Clippers gave up 2021, 22, 23, 24, 20, 26, and 3 unprotected and pick swaps. They gave a haul. They gave a haul and a half for Paul George, including trading Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Danilo Gallinari. Like, that's incredible. And people thought the Anthony Davis trade was a lot. And look at what they gave for Paul George. But for the price that they gave, if that guarantees you Kawhi Leonard, man, pull the trigger. Because, like, now, no excuses. The Clippers got their team. They got what they have right now. So I don't want to hear nothing else when it comes to, like, what other pieces do they need. They have they have the best defensive lineup as of right now. I thought it would be Utah right now, but after this move, you have to give it to the Clippers. They got 2 of the best on-ball defenders on the same team. That perimeter is gonna get shut down, and then you add guys like Patrick Beverley, and then you add Mo Harkless, then you got Montrezl Harrell. That perimeter is going to be on lockdown. They're gonna be playing prison basketball when it comes to defense, man. That's gonna be prison ball. But yeah, the Paul George trade is what gets me the most because I'm scratching my head thinking, if you were gonna want out, then why would you throw a party and celebrate that you're re-signing with the Thunder, and then request a trade a year later? But then the crazy part is, and like I've been hearing, when you hear reports coming out left and right, and then we're hearing Lakers this, Lakers that. Toronto didn't even have a chance. Well, you almost believed it yourself that Kawhi was going to be a Laker. I believed it. I believed it for a good second that Kawhi was going to be a Laker. But it just, that Paul George trade just came out of left field. It really did. Oh man, and I just got breaking news. I think Avery Bradley just signed with the Los Angeles Lakers. I'm just putting it out there because my phone just went off. Avery Bradley just signed with the Lakers. That's a good defensive piece, but again, I will cover the Lakers in a little bit. Let's continue with the Clippers. You got a lot of depth right now and a lot of shooting, some good shooting, man. I add the fact because with Shamet, Kawhi, Paul George, Patrick Beverley when he wants to. He could be a streaky shooter. Lou Williams is a bucket machine. the Clippers are on a contention level. Like they are contenders automatically, and they are very well equipped to go up against their how I put it, their quote unquote big brother, the Los Angeles Lakers. Yes, I'm a LeBron James fan, but if I would be lying if I told you if I was not excited to see this LA rivalry. I am excited as hell. LeBron and AD going up against Kawhi and Paul George. But speaking of the Lakers, I don't know why people are tripping. I don't know why people are tripping on the Lakers right now. When to me, I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't think the Lakers came out that bad, especially after extensively waiting for Kawhi's decision, which to me was very risky. But I think what happened maybe 2-3 hours later after I read that report about Kawhi and Paul George going to the Clippers, the Lakers all of a sudden they get Danny Green, then they get Quinn Cook, they re-sign Rondo, they re-sign JaVale McGee, and they get DeMarcus Cousins. And as I told you in the breaking news, now they got Avery Bradley. Like, I don't think the Lakers came out that bad. For after everything that just happened, I don't think they came out as bad. I think we're going to see a very well-equipped Laker team and a good Clipper team, and we're going to see an LA rivalry. We're going to see a LA rivalry, and this should be fun to watch because as a basketball fan, that's what you want. You want competition. And like I said, I'm a LeBron fan. So if Kawhi would have went to the Lakers, would I be laughing, saying it's all over? Yes, I would be laughing. But at the same time, I like competition, and quite frankly, I like this. And the Paul George trade coming out of left field, that I like that we got thrown off because everything is supposedly so predictable nowadays. And speaking of cross town, well, this is more cross country. We have to talk about across the next big market, New York. Before I even get on with the Knicks, I just want to praise the Brooklyn Nets for a good minute here. The Brooklyn Nets have been handling this so gracefully after I religiously made fun of them when they made that ridiculous trade for Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, and Jason Terry. I was religiously making fun of the Brooklyn Nets. Religiously. Like, I forever said that was the worst idea they ever had. But after everything that had happened and them constantly being in the bottom of the East, they managed to snag Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, and DeAndre Jordan while still maintaining Spencer Dinwiddie, Joe Harris, Caris LeVert, still maintaining Jared Allen. They're also another good team that, even though not this year because, Kevin Durant is not going to play this season, but the next season, the Nets are going to be very good. The Nets are going to be very good. Who knows how Kyrie and KD are going to mesh? That's a question mark. But up and down, I think that team is going to be great on paper. It's going to be great on paper, and we have to see the actual product in display to see how both these guys are going to play out. But I think Kyrie and KD might be fine. Am I going to say championship? That's yet to be seen. One of the biggest winners, I would have to say, in free agency, aside from these three LA teams, has the two LA teams and the Brooklyn Nets. I was about to say New Jersey, is the Utah Jazz. I really loved what the Utah Jazz have been doing in free agency, picking up some depth and just picking up some shooters and spacing for Donovan Mitchell and Mike Conley, because Utah is one of those teams. They're one of those teams that you just overlook, but at the same time they're a very tough and well coached team. That's Utah. Like, you can never count out Utah because of how hard they play. They give you everything and a half. They give you 110% every game. It is never an easy game to beat Utah. Um, but, but yes, but yes, the Utah Jazz with the signing of Jeff Green, with the signing of well, I forgot. Jesus Christ, I almost forgot who they signed already. Mike Conley, Jeff Green. Um, oh boy. Excuse me if I forgot any names, but yes, I just believe Utah was one of the biggest winners in free agency, also because they've been doing a great job picking up specific pieces and just building around their team and not just trying to aim for the stars because they're being realistic. Like, who knows? I don't think any superstars are gonna want to actually play in Utah, especially after the incidents from with Russell Westbrook, players saying about racism in Utah, but that's a whole nother topic for a whole nother day. But speaking of the Thunder, when I mentioned the Paul George trade, the Thunder also traded Jeremy Grant for a first round pick to the Denver Nuggets, which is a win for me for Denver. But now the question is for the Thunder, what are you going to do with Russell Westbrook? Who are you going to trade Russell Westbrook to, and what are you going to ask for in return? Because Russell Westbrook cannot be part of another rebuild. He just can't. He just cannot be part of another rebuild. It just cannot happen. Russell Westbrook has done too much for the Oklahoma City Thunder for them to fail time and time and time again. And they have been rumors that Miami is very interested in Russell Westbrook, but I don't know what the Miami Heat are going to give up for Russell Westbrook, because it would have to begin with Goran Dragic, and it would probably involve an insane amount of draft picks. I don't know. That's just what really concerns me, is like whoever trades for Westbrook, you're going to give a haul and a half for Westbrook. Will it be worth it? If Miami traded for Westbrook, him and Jimmy Butler, I don't know how they would mesh, but at least I don't know. It's a very risky move, because if you get Westbrook and then you trade all those pieces, it's not like there's a lot of quality free agents left. It's like I just don't see it. There's not a lot of quality free agents. So then you also hearing rumors about Detroit, the Timberwolves. It's like, again, you don't know what you're gonna get in return if you're OKC, and then that's a big contract to take up. The Houston Rockets. The Houston Rockets basically have been standing still. The Houston Rockets were basically standing still throughout free agency. They were so hell-bent on trying to get Jimmy Butler that it basically just kept them on an island. And as soon as they didn't get Jimmy Butler, they just basically re-signed everybody. I don't know if they're still considering trading Clint Capella, but I wouldn't. I think I would just run it back with the same team, because now this is the year of the duo. So Chris Paul, James Harden, you better get your act together, and you better try to mesh like you never meshed before, because you need to be on your A game, because the Western Conference is going to be very, very loaded and very tough, because this is the most parity we are seeing in the NBA since 2010. 2010 or 2009. This is the most competition we are seeing. Now let me get real quick on a team that had lost in free agency badly, and that is the New York Knicks. The New York Knicks lost very badly in free agency. Like, all of this talk about trying to get KD, Kyrie, and getting the number one pick and drafting Zion, it became a real thing. Like, they were so hell bent on having that happening that it got away from them under their noses, and then they lost the two guys that they want to sign to Brooklyn, and that had to have been the knockout blow. Like, not only did you not get the number one pick, you ended up with a 3 pick with RJ Barrett, who is a nice player by the way, but you also lose the two guys that you were trying to sign, because Kyrie was hell bent on signing with Brooklyn in the first place, and then you didn't want to give KD the max contract. You didn't want to give KD a max. But either way, even if you would offer KD the max, I think he was determined to follow Kyrie anyway, because if the report coming out that he denied going to play with Kawhi, he was being recruited by Kawhi Leonard to team up on the Clippers. Now that would have been scary. But no, he denied Kawhi Leonard and he said yes to Kyrie, and they both signed and took less money so they could sign DeAndre Jordan. They took less than the max so they could give DeAndre Jordan $10 million a year. Like that's insane. Whew. The Indiana Pacers. Signed Malcolm Brogdon, that was a shocker to me too, that he actually decided to leave Milwaukee. Look, I guess go get your bag. Why don't you? Like, go get what you deserve. Go get paid, bro. Just get your money. Go get paid, bro. But I know they were determined to try to get D'Angelo Russell, and that didn't happen, which I'll get to that in a little bit. But as soon as Victor Oladipo gets healthy, you still got some good quality pieces. I know the Indiana Pacers were very hell-bent on certain free agents that they just did not play out. But at the end of the day, they're still an up-and-coming team. They're still going to be a tough team in the Eastern Conference. The Eastern Conference is still wide open. And then speaking of the Milwaukee Bucks were they re-signed Brook Lopez. They re-signed Chris Middleton to max deals. I think Chris Middleton is a max deal. I don't know about Brook Lopez. And then they signed his brother, Robin Lopez. And then they signed Giannis's younger brother, Thais Antetokounmpo. Yo, are we sure Philly is the city of brotherly love? Because there's a lot of brothers teaming up in Milwaukee. They re-signed George Hill, which to me this is the biggest confusion for me when it comes to the George Hill signing. You waive George Hill just to re-sign him again. That I never understood. I never understood that. You re-sign him. You waive him just to re-sign him. And then you trade Tony Snell. You trade Tony Snell. You sign Wesley Matthews, which at the end of the day, I still say Milwaukee is still pretty elite. I don't know about how shooting wise. I think they took a hit because I still think Malcolm Brogdon's a better shooter than Wesley Matthews, but I think that Milwaukee's not really falling off by much. Philly is going to be very, very dangerous in the Eastern Conference, because even though they lost Jimmy Butler, they did a sign and trade with the Heat, which gave them Josh Richardson, and they also signed Al Horford in free agency. And Al Horford on the Sixers to me is a pretty good snag, because he was always Joel Embiid's kryptonite, if you want to call it that, because I don't know what it is with Joel Embiid when it comes to Al Horford, but he always was on his heels whenever Al Horford is guarding him. I think Al Horford is a decent three-point shooter. He's going to help out defensively. They re-signing Tobias Harris was a shocker to me. I really saw that as a shocker. I really saw Tobias Harris leaving the Sixers. I really did not think that he was going to re-sign. But I'm glad they did, because now it's like at least he might be a streaky shooter, but he's an okay all-around player. A big loss for the Sixers is losing J.J. Redick. losing JJ Redick to the Pelicans was huge because I was just reading this on Instagram how JJ Redick wants to retire a Sixer and then he goes and signs with the Pelicans. I'm just like, that's gonna be a huge loss for the Sixers because he provided that spacing that helped Ben Simmons when it came to spacing the floor, and it helped him work more in the paint. So Josh Richardson, I loved him on the Heat. He's a good defender, a good 3-and-D guy, but he's a streaky shooter. So it's like as a Heat fan, you gotta be a little patient with Josh Richardson because he could be very streaky. But when it comes to defense, he'll put his heart out on defense. He'll put his heart out on defense. I will quote me on that one because I always had good faith in Josh Richardson when it came to defense. Speaking of the Miami Heat, I don't, to tell you the truth, I have no idea what the hell we're doing. I have no idea what the hell we are doing. I don't know what Pat Riley is thinking. I don't know what Eric Spoelstra is thinking because we get Jimmy Butler, we lose Josh Richardson, we still have Goran Dragic. We don't know if we're gonna trade him. We don't know if we're gonna keep him. It's just beyond me. I really don't. I'm glad that we're getting rid of bad contracts. We waived Ryan Anderson, and then we got rid of Hassan Whiteside, which I can't believe I'm saying this, but hallelujah that we got rid of Hassan Whiteside. Hallelujah, because he was starting to really become a pain in my neck. With all the whining he was doing. As soon as he gets that big contract, he's just whining about his minutes and all that, but yet he don't stop getting in foul trouble. Like, geez, I think last season when he was getting destroyed by Joel Embiid, it was like, come on, bro. It's like, come on, you're doing all this whining, but yet you're doing nothing but fouling, bro. But yes. The Orlando Magic are basically re-signing everybody. The Orlando Magic, they're just re-signing everybody and I think the only addition they had was Al-Farouq Aminu, which to me that was odd. So that's just very odd because for the Orlando Magic, you're just like, this is the best free agent we got was Al-Farouq Aminu, which takes away a good defender from Portland because Portland has taken a loss too. Losing Mo Harkless and Al-Farouq Aminu. You can't tell me Mario Hezonja makes up for Al-Farouq Aminu and Mo Harkless' defense. And hell, I don't even think it fixes them on offense. I think Portland is still stuck in the same position that they are right now. They're still stuck. They're stuck being that middleman in the Western Conference. Do I think they'll be a top 3 seed? Oh no, I do not. I think they'll be more like a 5th or 6th seed, if to be honest. Shoot, I got a lot more to cover. The Sacramento Kings have been building up depth when it comes to signing Corey Joseph, signing Trevor Ariza. They lost Willie Cauley-Stein to the Warriors. But Willie Cauley-Stein, you already knew he wanted out. He openly expressed it that he wanted out of Sacramento. But the Sacramento Kings, I think they're starting to build up nicely. They're starting to build up very nicely. They're adding that depth. They re-signed Harrison Barnes, which I think was a good signing. But that depth, this is what people are learning from the Warriors. You can't just worry about your starting 5 and then hope that the bench is going to figure itself out. You saw what happened in the finals. Depth means everything. The better the bench that you have, the better the chance you give your starters of getting a little bit of rest so that in key moments in the fourth quarter, they have the energy to go at it in tough games. The Memphis Grizzlies have been making moves with signing DeLon Wright, with the additions of John Morant, re-signing Valanciunas, trading Chandler Parsons, which to me that's an excellent move. Another bad contract because geez, the contract that Chandler Parsons had just to do nothing, it was that's a steal for that. Throw a parade, why don't you, if you're in Memphis? Throw a parade if you're in Memphis for getting rid of Chandler Parsons. That Dwight Howard, I don't know if you're waiving him or because I don't know what you're gonna do about keeping him. The one underrated trade, the addition of Josh Jackson, I think the Phoenix Suns really messed up by trading Josh Jackson. Josh Jackson, trading him to the Memphis Grizzlies and teaming him up with John Morant, that to me is just, what were you thinking? The Phoenix Suns don't know what the hell they are doing right now. They don't know what the hell they're doing. I mean, for God's sake, what was your best signing? Ricky Rubio? What did you take? One more step? The Phoenix Suns to me are crawling. They are crawling. They're not moving any faster at trying to improve as a team. They're not getting any better. They're still going to be one of the worst teams in the Western Conference. I just cannot believe how incredibly redundant it is that the Phoenix Suns are doing the same thing over and over and over again. They don't get any better. Devin Booker is going to be wasting his talent in Phoenix. I wouldn't be surprised within a year or two that I hear that Devin Booker wants to get traded. I would not be surprised. I really would not be surprised if he wants to get traded after maybe a year or two. The Washington Wizards, I have no idea what. I think they're just losing piece by piece by piece because now they don't know if they want to trade Bradley Beal. They don't know if they want to keep Bradley Beal. I think there's been rumor that they're trying to get rid of John Wall's contract, but it looks like that's not happening because he's still recovering from an injury, and I just don't see where the Wizards are gonna go from here. I really don't. The Wizards are a very odd team right now. They're very, very odd. And then speaking of odd teams, the Charlotte Hornets. So you don't offer Kemba Walker the Supermax, but you let him walk, and then you give Terry Rozier a 3-year, $58 million deal. If I don't call stupid on that one, then I don't know what is. Like, how do you give Terry Rozier basically starting point guard money? Do you know if he's going to be that good? Because I'm sorry, people are hanging on to that 2018 playoff run like he's an elite starting point guard. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. I don't know how you could see that in Terry Rozier. You do not have the pieces for him to work with. I mean, who's the best player? You got Nicholas Batum. You lost Frank Kaminsky to Phoenix. I mean, my God, like what do you like? I don't know what Charlotte is doing. Charlotte's never going to move forward either. They are never going to move forward. They're just not. The Boston Celtics. They took a huge step back. Yes, they signed Kemba Walker. So what was it, a 4-year max? But you lost Aaron Baines, you lost Al Horford, you lost Marcus Morris. I mean, you lost Kyrie Irving. I don't know where do you think you're getting better from here. Yes, you added Enes Kanter, but I still don't see that as an upgrade. I still think he's just going to clog up the paint. I think that's just going to be more work for Kemba Walker. I don't see the Boston Celtics getting better after this. Yes, this gives I don't know if this gives more of a chance for Jason Tatum to show his potential because Gordon Hayward's still there. I think this is just going to give more responsibility to Jaylen Brown and Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, and Kemba Walker. Because defensively, I think they're going to fall off. To me, they're going to fall off defensively. And then offensively, who's going to be the primary ball handler? Kemba Walker. So I think Kemba Walker is going to have the same load as he did in Charlotte, except he's got younger players. I don't know. I really don't know. Boston just seems weird to me. Boston just seems very, very odd. To me, Boston was really hell-bent on trying to get Anthony Davis and Kyrie on the same team, and it just didn't happen. So everything going wrong for Boston is going wrong. Between them, at least they're not as bad as the New York Knicks that they signed Julius Randle to a 3-year deal, Bobby Portis, Taj Gibson, Wayne Ellington. With all these free agents, and then this is the funniest part about the New York Knicks. When I heard the report that they pulled out of trying to get a meeting with Kawhi Leonard because they didn't want to miss out on quality free agents, and I'm just thinking, yes, because Bobby Portis is a quality free agent. Ooh. Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, my God. The San Antonio Spurs, they added Marcus Morris, like I just mentioned in the Boston Celtics take. The NBA is going to be shooken up. The NBA is going to be very, very shooken up for a while, and this is what I mean. Like, the league is going to be wide open. Like, there's going to be so many different elite teams, and then you got up and coming teams. There's no heavily favored team to win the title. Like, you can't just say, oh, these guys are going to win the championship. You can't just be like, oh, the Lakers are going to win the championship. It's not even close. Or the Clippers are going to win the championship. It's not even close. Or the Nets are going to win the championship. It's not even close. You can't say that anymore because there's a lot of parity and competition now in the league. And even the Warriors getting that trade and getting D'Angelo Russell and Shabazz Napier and Willie Cauley-Stein and oh my God, I forgot what's this guy from the Detroit Pistons, Glenn Robinson. They got some quality pieces too. But are they the overwhelming championship favorite? No, they're not the overwhelming favorite. Re-signing Klay Thompson, that's a must, but you're trading Andre Iguodala. I think that's going to hurt them defensively. I think defensively the Warriors are going to struggle because with D'Angelo Russell and Steph Curry if they're ever on the court at the same time, you're just thinking to yourself, who's going to guard who? Like, who's going to defend who? That would be the question. And Klay would probably have to play the 3. But yeah, the Dallas Mavericks with their additions, the Dallas Mavericks are going to be a very scary team with Luka Doncic, Kristaps Porzingis, Tim Hardaway Jr. I believe Kelly Olynyk was added to the team if I'm correct. Yeah, the Dallas Mavericks are gonna be pretty good too. So like I said, the Western Conference especially, the Western Conference is gonna be very, very good next year. In the Eastern Conference, I think you're gonna have at least about four or five good teams in the Eastern Conference. But either way, the NBA is wide open and people are happy again that there's competition and the unpredictability is back. Anybody has a chance to win a championship if you're in that level. If you have a dynamic duo right now and you have a decent bench, you have a chance to win a championship. That's just plain and simple. I'm happy. I hope anybody else who's a basketball fan is happy because I'm very much looking forward to this season. And any other signings, I might not be putting out a video with every signing. Like I said, I waited a very long time to put out this video. Anyway, this is a Merry Christmas from the NBA. This is your boy Jay Varsity. Like, comment, subscribe if you like basketball content. And I am out. Peace.
We got some non-believers out